but in all seriousness, I mean, this crowding, some people take that as a read that...
Like, in all seriousness, like, I can't take your outfit serious, like, in all seriousness.
You know, there's just too much groupthink here, not enough fundamental analysis. It's a sign of potentially a signal to the bears that a downturn could be near. I mean, does any of that concern you at all?
Look, and I think those are all the arguments that the bears are making. I think it just comes down to the growth. I mean, what I believe in, and I think we'll see with Salesforce, I think we'll see with a lot of these off-quarter earnings, Palo Alto, of course. This is going to be a strong fundamental performance from tech, from software, from chips going in the second half of the year. And in my opinion, despite the Fed, despite what we see in terms of the 10-year, I think tech powers through this. We see 12, 15% gains second half of the year. And I think it goes into 2024. We believe the new tech bull market is here.
And you got everything you wanted out of it.
Whoa, the new tech bull market is here, right? I'll give you one case on why tech stocks could do really, really well the next 4 months. And it has nothing to do with earnings or anything like that. Although I do think there's going to be several companies that report insanely impressive net income growth and actually revenue growth on a year-over-year basis. Meta, Amazon, Nvidia come to mind. But that's actually not the real reason. The real reason is there could be fund managers trying to play catch up into the end of the year. And if you want to try to catch up to the market, if you're lagging the index big time, then usually the thought process is I need to be in tech stocks, right? Because those usually over-index to the upside. If you're in a kind of an uptrending market, you're not usually going to catch up playing oil and gas stocks or industrials or something like that. So if you're underperforming, you're like, I need Tesla, I need Nvidia, I need AMD, I need those sorts of stocks. And so if you get some piling in there, then you just kind of add on to the gains into the year end.
Yeah, we sat here and talked about it for weeks. You came on, it was an incredible quarter, and then the stock did nothing. Is that a concern to you?
Yeah, I think that was a knee-jerk, no doubt. And I think that definitely scared a lot of investors that I talked to, right? Like, if Nvidia, the godfather of AI, Jensen, puts up a quarter like that and the stock sells off, what is that telling you? But I believe we sit here 6-8 weeks from now and that stock is much higher. Because ultimately it just comes down to fundamentally, it's unprecedented growth that we haven't seen in 30 years since internet in 1995.
But so wait, you said, what is that telling you? So it's not telling you anything? What's the answer?
I think it's telling you that was a knee-jerk reaction that I don't think is going to be sustainable. I believe Nvidia and overall tech is going to go, we believe it rips much higher into the second half of the year. I view that pause that we saw post, sort of sell-off as more of a golden buying opportunity, not the time, in my opinion, to get out of this, because I believe this is just halftime of a Super Bowl type tech rally that we see going into the next 18, 24 months.
Is there a name in the Magnificent Seven or Mega Cap 8 that you would underweight at this point?
Well, I mean, look.
So the reason Nvidia stock didn't skyrocket off of those earnings, which were absolutely astronomically ridiculous in terms of how much they just killed it. Even the most bullish bulls got outbulled by Nvidia's numbers and guidance, right? A lot of people looked at it and they say, well, why didn't that stock skyrocket? I'll tell you exactly why that stock didn't skyrocket on those earnings, okay? The reason being is there's a psychological thought process around stocks that is it as bad as it could possibly be? Is the worst news priced in? Or is it as good as it can possibly be and the story can only potentially get worse from here, but like this is the climax, right? So when Nvidia reported those numbers, guess what happened? What happened was a lot of people started to think because the numbers were so great and the guidance was so great, there's no way it can be any more impressive than this, which puts a top on the whole situation, right? That's the way some people think. Now, Nvidia is kind of a different animal if people haven't recognized this yet. And so, that might just have been child's play. Even this $400 level, like there's a potential Nvidia goes to $800 to $1,000 over the next 6 months. Over the next 6 months. I don't have a penny invested in Nvidia. I'm just telling you, it is a possibility that Nvidia climbs to $800 to $1,000 over the next 6 months. I have not a dime in Nvidia stock. There's a potential, though. When you look at how cheap the forward P is, which is incredibly cheap given the growth rates of Nvidia, okay, that's a whole different ballgame there, right? But there's a thought process of like, there's no way it could get any better than this. There's no way. And that's why that stock didn't just skyrocket initially. My number 2 worst stock
in the public count as a percentage basis is Honest. Down 71% in this one. We're down $127,000 in regards to Honest. And honestly, it deserves it. It deserves it. Unlike an Avant that I feel like it's been unjustly destroyed, Honest deserves to be destroyed. I mean, they missed so many numbers. The losses got worse. Nick Vlahos just, I don't know, man. He just couldn't run the company. I don't know what other way to put it. Like, it's just a bad job, right? Now, recently, Carla Vernon's come in, and I will say she's given at least some hope to the company, and especially after kind of seeing this last quarterly earnings. I was like, okay, maybe. But the thing with Honest is you can't get too excited. It's like, okay, might have something here. Carla might have the company going on the right track, and that's good. But we got a long road ahead on Honest, okay? Long road ahead. So I'm a huge believer in their products and what they should be able to do and build a brand here, but it's just, they've got a very successful brand in so many different areas, but it's just they've had misexecution. So the latest quarter was a first quarter where it was like there might be some glimmer of hope. But with that being said, I deserve to be down 70+% on that stock. It's just bottom line with that, and it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one, but it is what it is. Now, my number one worst stock of all the stocks, and we'll get into my number one best stock, is the Planet. Down 76 whopping percent on the Planet. 54K down on this one, right? And this is what you got to go through as an individual stock picker. Like, sometimes things are going to work really freaking well for you. And sometimes it's going to be like, geez, can we get a break? No, in regards to Planet, I do believe this one will come back. I believe it's going to actually start coming back in the second half of this year. I believe they're going to start reporting much more impressive numbers over the next several quarters. And I believe things will get better for the company in 2024 and beyond. I believe the market, in regards to this industry, is in a bottoming out phase right now, and I believe it will gradually get just a little better. I don't believe we're going to have a V-shaped recovery in this industry. I believe things will just kind of gradually get a little better over the next several years. I believe that will be a boom for Planet. If there can ever be any sort of realistic possibility of federal legalization, it's a game changer. That's the V-shaped recovery, if we could ever get that. I don't know if that's going to happen. Great balance sheet in regards to Planet. They got the Illinois location opening soon. It looks like the Vegas location has been ramping back up business, and at least from what I've seen at that location. So we'll see what numbers they post over the next few quarters. Obviously, Vegas is going to continue to just have a lot of big events. We got the Super Bowl coming up. We got the F1 race coming up. That's massive. And obviously, Vegas is always just a huge tourist attraction in general. So I believe I believe Planet will come back, and I believe it will actually start to come back the back half of this year. It'll go into many years to go in the future. So I have full faith in that one. And the management team there has always been, the management team there has always been one of those that they figure it out, man. This is a company that, remember, during Rona, they should have went bankrupt. But the management team pivoted toward curbside pickup. They pivoted toward delivery. They didn't even do stuff like that. There was it was only a store business at that time. They pivoted. They figured out even in the worst situations, and they made it through Rona. Like, this management team there, for a small cap company, they're one of the very few that got their heads on straight. And so I have full faith that they'll bring this baby back, and we will go green on this stock, and then we'll go very nicely green. I have a lot of belief in what they will pull off there in the business model. Okay.